Tennessee. From the east to the west, we are talking Cowboys everything. And you just entered
the Cowboy Zone.
Welcome back to another episode of the Cowboy Zone. I'm Marcus Jones coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee.
And this is Lambo from Johnson City, Tennessee with Cowboys, y'all. And I don't know why I'm acting like I'm so excited. We just got our ass whipped.
Well, Francisco Zavala, thank you for joining us. And thank you everyone else who's joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Again, welcome to the Cowboy Zone. We're going to try to make the best of a bad situation and talk a little bit about the game we just had and look forward into next week's game versus the football team.
Oh, man.
So before we get
started,
make sure you guys make sure you guys share it to your personal page, share it to your favorite page, and also make sure you subscribe to our YouTube if you're watching on YouTube.
What's up, Jeff? What's up, Yvonne and Elazar and Rosie? How we doing? Sad day in Cowboys land. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But it was to be expected, honestly.
If you listen,
I didn't think it was going to be as bad as it was, but everything we said would happen happened in this game. Between myself and Lambo, I mean, we really hit the nail on the head on everything except us not scoring as many points as we thought.
I had hoped that when we got on this episode, there was going to be a lot of comments just bashing on us and saying, see, that's what y'all get for not blah, blah, blah. You know, everyone knows we said that we was going to lose the game and everything. So I was hoping this would be a different show, that we would be, we were wrong. But obviously we weren't.
Thanks, Lamont, for joining us. Yvonne, thank you for joining us as well. They definitely need to have a come to Jesus meeting.
Yeah.
That just didn't look good.
No, man. Sickening. Pretty sickening. And the worst part is, like, I can't stop watching, so I just had to suffer until the last second just because it's like an OCD thing. It's like I cannot walk away from the game or just cut it off, and just suffered along all the way to the very end. And then I just sat there and I was like, you know what? This sucks. I drank a little too much thinking it would help, and it just made it worse. And, we've now allowed over 34 points in 5 straight games, which breaks the NFL record. So that's our defense. That's our defense this year, guys.
Yep. All right, Lambo. So before we get into the next game, and Brian, thank you for joining us. Jeff, as always. Anyone else who's watching, make sure you get in the comments. At least just tell us hi so we know you're there, because we really appreciate you guys' support, and we want to make sure that we can shout out as many people as possible. So, Lambo, I think we may have a guest coming later, and I'm trying to get that patched through.
Okay.
So while I do that, can you tell us 2 positives that you have from the last game? I know it's going to be hard, but give me at least.
I'll start off with a positive here. Not many people can tell you who the hell Justin Hamilton was before this game, but he's a positive. Justin Hamilton, defensive tackle, played a little with Philly and Chiefs. He's only played, I believe, 8 regular season games in his career. Yep. And he came from Rutgers, I think, or something like. No, Raging Cajuns.
Yeah.
So, not a well-known guy, but he showed up. If y'all seen 79, I believe it was 79 on the tape, he showed up at times, which is something to be happy about, because he actually showed up on film more in just that one game, since we pulled him up from the practice squad in that game, than Poe did the entire season.
Yes.
I mean, and when I watch it and I look at Poe and him, there was a play where they were on the field at the same time. And Hamilton, I mean, he was just aggressive with trying to get off of blocks, and you could see Poe just a few feet over for him, just
doing a Frankenstein walk.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, the difference was incredible. So Justin Hamilton's a positive you could take away from that if y'all go back and watch 79, because y'all know we're hurting in the interior of the defensive line. So that is something to be happy about, at least, to take from this horrible game. But a second one, I would have to say Conor Mcgovern was good enough to not stand out to me as in a bad way. He didn't stand out in a bad way, which is good, because we didn't see we seen Connor Williams suck it up the entire season at left guard, and Conor Mcgovern never get put in, and we seen him not even activated the first week. So in a lot of minds, we were sitting here thinking, damn, is McGovern suck that bad? But we finally see McGovern, and I didn't see the guy that they were scared to play the whole season. So that's cool.
I actually watched every snap Conor McGovern had, and out of the 60 plus offensive snaps we had, I only counted 4 bad snaps. And really 3.5, because it's hard to tell whose responsibility it was when Buda Baker came on that blitz. It looked like McGovern was doubling with Tyler B, and he didn't check backside.
Yeah.
But they did another blitz later on in the game, and the tackle actually shifted and caught the blitz and let the end go free. So I don't know whose fault that was, but outside of that, 3 or 4 plays. He didn't. If you don't count that as him giving up a sack, he didn't give up a sack.
Mm-hmm.
He was always in position. His man always was blocked. He only counted 2 times where his man made the tackle on a run play.
Yeah, it was and Buda was rocking everywhere.
I like that.
So yeah, that defense, man, Arizona's defense showed up for sure. I don't know if it was their defense showed up or our offense just didn't show up. I don't know which one it was, but
like we told you guys on Sunday, their corners are no joke, and their safety plays everywhere.
Yeah, and Byron Murphy was pretty legit, like you said he was going to be too.
Yeah. I mean, he could be a number 1 corner
Yeah.
on probably half the teams in the league, and he's their number 3. So all of that for me was to be expected. And when you got 3 guys like that covering the way they are, you can bring those 8-man pressures like they were doing. And that's one of those things that just got caught up with us. You hit 2 of my positives, and I got to throw in a third one.
Yeah.
Leighton Van Der Esch was on the field. He played well, and he did not get hurt. I know I talked to a bunch of people all week, and everybody's concern was Van Der Esch is back too soon. So he came out there, he made some plays. He looked good in space. He didn't make a lot of tackles, but he did allow Jalen to play more freely, which was another positive in itself, because it opened up Jalen to cover his gaps a little bit better and also to be more of a spy on the running backs and the quarterback inside the box. It didn't help much, but at least he was able to be a spy.
Yeah, I agree. Man, I was going to say something and it slipped my dang mind.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm almost getting this guest together, Lambo, so I need another minute to turn my head a few minutes.
No problem. Yeah, so for those that just joined in on Cowboys 2068, we have mentioned our positives so far, which were Justin Hamilton, defensive tackle, Conor McGovern playing at right guard, and
Would you say Conor McGovern
and
Van Der Esch
brain fart? Oh, Van Der Esch, yeah.
Van Der Esch being healthy, yeah.
Being healthy, yeah.
Justin Hamilton. And Hamilton looked great.
Hold up.
Go ahead.
I got to give a little credit to Diggs, too. I know Hopkins broke that one play, but that was mainly because of – it wasn't necessarily a pick, but, I mean, he got caught up on a dude following him across the field. But until that point, until that one big pass, he did a tremendous job on Hopkins for the most part, for being a rookie second rounder. Yeah.
1 catch for 13 yards other than that one big play.
Other than that one play. And that was, like I said, he ran into a dude trying to follow him across the field. So that's a reason. That made me feel pretty good. Like, I've been feeling pretty good about Diggs he's playing pretty well as a rookie, about as well as we could hope for as a rookie cornerback. So that was good. That was good.
So now we'll talk about the negatives, and it's so many to point out, but I got to start with this one first. Mendoza should have been 24-10. The turnovers are killing us.
Zeke.
What do you think it is, Lambo? Because I saw on Instagram, somebody tried to make the point Zeke had COVID during the offseason. That's his breathing is being affected and his body hasn't fully recovered. I don't like it at all.
Someone shared that.
Okay, you saw that too?
They shared it in the official America's Team group page, and I commented on there, and it made a few people laugh, including one of our regular watchers, Cole. Someone said something about it, and everybody was like, "Yeah, that COVID, man, it could really do that and this and that." And I said, "Hold up!" I typed in there something along the lines of, first of all, I don't think the COVID made Zeke catch the ball, run 2 yards up the field, holding the ball like he was Deion Primetime Sanders like this. Exactly. Did COVID make him run with the ball like this? I don't think it did. So I'm just saying, I don't know about that.
Yeah, we got so many Taurus 1970 joining us on Twitter. Thank you for joining us on Twitter. I know you're a new name.
Twitter.
We also appreciate you watching us. Make sure you like that page. Make sure you like the other person's page. I'm Bluff City Cowboys, and Lambo is Cowboys, y'all. So make sure you like us and continue to follow us. And like you said, there's so many to point out. We're gonna try to limit it to 3. And the first one is definitely Zeke and his fumbles. So I pulled up the game script from this past week, and it looks like Zeke and Pollard were about a 60-30 split, 60-35 split. How much closer to 50-50 do you think we need to see this week? Like, do we need to put him in a running back by committee until he proves that he can hold the ball, or do you give him another shot to be the bell cow?
I know, like Zeke was averaging more yards per carry, but dang, he can't hold on to the ball. I know Pollard was, I think, at 3.3 or something like that, but at least he ain't dropping the ball in his limited touches, at least.
Oh yeah, Cowboys 26-8. I did hit 100 subscribers, so I did change that name. So I'm ecstatic about that.
I meant to ask you about that.
Yeah,
because I remember at one point you was like 74, and then I seen you post the 100, and I was like, oh snap, it jumped up quick.
Yeah, it jumped up quick. So thank you guys for all your support, and I appreciate that.
All right, now get us both to 1,000, please.
Exactly.
Bluff City Cowboys and Cowboys Y'all on YouTube. Please subscribe, please.
Hey, Bobby McLean, thank you for joining us as well. So Lambo, I don't know if you answered the question or not. Do we go 50-50? I say yes.
If it's up to us, I think that would be the call, but I don't think it's going to happen.
And like I always say, let's take our fan hats off for 1 second. If this was the Chiefs and their running back had 6 fumbles in 6 games and lost 4 of them, would you say they need to go to a committee? If your answer is yes to that, it needs to be yes for Zeke.
The thing is, Andy Reid ain't going to play that.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike McCarthy, I thought was going to be doing the right thing for a minute, because I seen Pollard come on the field, and then like about 4 plays later, he had Zeke right back in there. I was like, oh, right, okay, that was just a temporary.
Yeah,
I would have took him out about 2.
How much money a guy is making? When you cost us multiple turnovers in multiple games, a change needs to be made. If you don't make a change, you're doing a discredit to the other 53 guys on your team, because you put us in holes in half the games from those fumbles.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I can't remember the stat, but I know it. Like, I want to say it was over. I seen something earlier. I believe it was like his first over 1,000 carries in the league.
I saw another stat that was interesting to me. From 2018 to 2020, he's leading running backs in fumbles, and I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
I guess it's something I can pay attention to in the past, but in the past 3 years, he's been leading running backs and fumbles.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Knicks? I know you were probably watching us from the game store, so appreciate that.
Star gang. And what's up, Bobby? Sorry, man. I didn't say hey. I
So
just
yeah,
seen you in
one
there.
stop, got a lot of Twitter people joining us. So
I know. We usually don't
one
have
stop
Twitter.
Cowboys.
Whose
Thank
Twitter
you
they
for joining us.
Whose Twitter they hitting up?
I don't know. I don't check that until the end. One Stop Cowboys, thank you for joining us on Twitter. Got a couple people joining us tonight, so we appreciate you guys. And this person says if they had a guy who could consistently pick up the blitz, I would say yes. I think Pollard's good enough to pick up the blitz. And the other reason I like Pollard, he's a threat in the passing game. So sometimes, even though a guy may not be great as a pass blocker, his threat of going out on a route and a linebacker having to cover him, sometimes that'll scare them from blitzing because they feel like if they blitz and that guy gets out, he's gone.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
agree.
what I remember as well.
His acceleration, pretty much from a standstill, right now is superior right now to Zeke too. He's his quickness off, just off of the cut. Take the damn sleeves off, Zeke. Yeah, I keep thinking that too. Unless you got something sticky on them sleeves, which I don't think you do.
Yeah, I never noticed that about the sleeves, but yeah.
I've been wondering that all season if that is messing with him because I've wore sleeves before and I know that it does make it a little more slippery on the ball, or it makes it easier for the ball to be punched out. Because even when you're holding the ball tight, if someone punches the ball, it's a big difference between skin versus that material of the sleeve.
Yeah, but at some point, fundamentals got to go into place. You hold the ball at 3 points. Here. You don't hold it like this.
He still wears that wrist brace, even though his wrist has been fine for a long time. Do you think that affects the positioning of his hand and the way he holds the ball too? Sometimes in that hand, when he shifts to that hand.
Well, he didn't just start playing and holding the ball like that and wearing that stuff.
Yeah, he's been doing this
for the past 5 years. This year, I can't say, oh well, he did something new. He needs to change it. So yeah. And thanks for pointing it out, Nix. He said back in 2018 they started wearing the sleeves. And like I said, like you said, it's been 3 years. We can't blame it on the sleeves. It's him. There's a mental issue or lack of focus, and I just don't know. But it's a glaring issue at this point, and it needs to be resolved either by taking him back to basics or taking him back to the bench until he figures it out.
Whatever it is, teams have caught on to it and are targeting the issue. And there's a few questions, Mr. Oh, hey, if you go back up, thank you, Cowboys 2068.
What, this?
Yeah, appreciate that so much.
That. Yeah, for sure. We're just two fans trying to interact with other fans, and we just have a platform to do it. So we appreciate you guys as much as you appreciate us.
And then Andre, I've been thinking the same thing. Why are we still starting Worley?
Are you able to click on the comments and put them on the screen?
No, it doesn't let me for some reason.
Okay, we'll figure that out next week.
Actually, hold on. Was that you or me?
That was me. Try another one.
Oh, okay, it was you. You as soon as it popped up, I clicked it, so I thought I finally had controls of it. I was like, yeah.
We'll figure it out next week. All right, so we talked enough about Zeke and the turnovers.
Yeah, enough of that.
I don't even want to talk about Dalton because honestly, it was to be expected. Like I told you guys before, their secondary was no joke. Dalton was a first week quarterback. I expected him to throw an interception. Now, the second one was some BS because there was clearly pass interference.
That ruined any chance we had at that point.
Yep.
And but what was at the beginning of the game? He got away with one that was horrible.
Oh yeah, the one in the red zone we threw right in the guy's chest.
He's getting ready to let it go, and CD had the steps on him. I don't know why he didn't let it go, but then he pulls it back in, and then tosses it back up. And I don't know what he was doing. It went directly to was it Reddick?
Yep.
I think it was Reddick. It went directly to him. I mean, nobody was within 10 yards.
Yep.
I don't know what that was. But I can't stop. I'm still looking at this. It's off what we're talking about. But why isn't we seeing Robinson yet?
And that was actually my next
It was
lapses in the defense.
okay.
Everybody's seen that play because we've seen Darius Butler break it down, and West Coast and Big Game and Law. That same one play where Worley was clearly in cover 3. And if anybody here knows anything about football, if you don't, I'll explain it to you real quick. Cover 3 means thirds. One safety has a third, one safety has a middle, one corner has a third. So that corner's job is to bail and to not let anyone get past him in that third. Worley jumped on a comeback route for no explicable reason.
Hey, there's West Coast right there.
Hey, West Coast, appreciate you joining. So, yeah, the safety was over top on the double clutch play, and Andy should have trusted him and threw it. Yeah, for sure. And we appreciate you joining us as well. But, yeah, there was no reason for him to bite on that comeback because Jordan Lewis was in the slot, and that was his zone that he was protecting.
Yeah.
And he already runs a 4.7, and both of the receivers who are on this side run a 4.2, 4.3. He should not have jumped on that. And like you guys are saying, I've been saying for the past 4 weeks, let's give Robinson a pass. He's changing positions. Let's not throw him out there and hurt his confidence. It's week 6 now. Let's see what he can do. Because I know he runs a 4.4, and I know he's 6'2", and I know he can at least get out there and understand basic fundamentals. Because that's not a complicated scheme problem that Worley had. Cover 3 is cover 3.
Right.
Just like
what's his name said, right? Woody Dantzler
Dantzler
when he came on the show. Yeah. I knew that's what you was thinking.
Yeah. We asked him about how was it converting from offense to defense as a safety. And he was like, cover 3 is cover 3.
Mm-hmm.
All that other stuff we can figure out, but those are basic concepts. So if the guys that we have playing can't even get basic concepts, let's get the young guys in because at least they're going to be faster, more aggressive, and they're going to be on at least the same level of some of these veterans we've been relying on.
Yeah. And like you said, Reggie Robinson is just a athlete, man. He's a physical freak. He had the best I think it was per next gen. I could be wrong, but he had the best combine grade of all the cornerbacks in the draft. I mean, he couldn't do much worse than Worley's been doing, man.
And the safeties that we've been playing, and Parker and Woods and Wilson, they haven't been awful. Like Thompson was awful. They've made mistakes, but they weren't glaring mistakes like Thompson sitting down on a route when you're in deep middle. Yeah. So we can put Robinson back at corner right now, I think. I hate to move guys back and forth, but we need help at that corner spot. Now, we'll talk about Awuzie if he comes back this week once we move on to week 7. I got one more negative I got to talk about. And, of course, injuries. We lost Zach Martin. He's probably not going to play this week. It normally takes a full week for a player to get out of concussion protocol, and he's going to be at less than a week. So it's going to be very difficult for him to clear protocol and play. Yeah. And then we lost Brandon Knight.
Now that hurt a little bit. I mean, obviously Tyron Smith and Lau Collins, but then to see Brandon Knight actually be doing pretty well and be like, okay, maybe we can, still make something happen here. Brandon Knight's been pretty serviceable, and now you get an injury to him. Now I'm really worried. And then to top it off, like you said, Zach Martin with the concussion. So
exactly. Going back to corner, I see West Coast joining in, talking about Westry, and also my guy Jeff says, let's see what Westry has. I'm in agreement with you guys. Anybody can be better than Worley right now.
Put the lengthy guy out there with the speed. I like Westry. I like to see him on the field. I mean, like you said, what's it gonna hurt?
Right.
You can't tell me he's going to do worse than Worley has.
Exactly.
At worst, he'll do the same.
Again, basic cover 3. If he knows how to backpedal and bail and not let anybody get past him, he can't do any worse. Now, the little bit I remember of Westry, he was kind of soft when it comes to playing the run. But looking at what we've seen so far,
yeah,
he can't be any worse than what we have out there.
Right.
So yeah, hopefully we can at least see him play some safety, get him on the field, and also bringing Westry up as well. The only problem with that is you got to cut somebody to bring him up. If you want to bring him up as a 53 guy, or if you want to bring him up as one of our 2 practice squad guys. We're already kind of thin at a lot of spots, so you will have to either make somebody inactive that we may need, or cut somebody if you want to be a regular 53 guy. At
this point, I'm just trying to see. I mean, just make some changes. Try something else.
Yeah.
Move some people in, move some people around. Like Bobby Belt said, Dallas has allowed 14 passing touchdowns, 10 rushing touchdowns in the first 6 games. Last team to do that, 2005 San Francisco 49ers with Mike Nolan. So it's like, it's crazy, man. Just mix it up. Try something, man, at this point.
All right, Lambo. Anything else you want to talk about with the Cardinals? Any last thoughts on that game?
I just like to put it behind us. Yeah. Put it behind us.
Marlo, thank you for joining us.
I'm down with that. Bench Poe.
Right, exactly. And Jack Meeker, Justin Hamilton needs to be our starter for sure.
Yeah, throw him and Woods out there.
Exactly. Like I said, and Mendoza, I said the same thing. He doesn't look very, very strong against the run, but not many have, except for Diggs. So that's one of those things we just have to deal with. Again, I like his length. I like his speed. If he knows how to play deep, then, hey, let's give him a shot. Can't be any worse.
Yeah.
And, Brian, we did sign a DT today. We're about to get into that as well once we hit these storylines. So if there's nothing else, I guess we will move on to Washington. And as we go on to Washington, we'll start off with our first segment, which is major storylines.
Storylines.
All right, so we started off talking about injuries a little bit. And like I said, I don't think Zach Martin's going to be back this week, which means we're going to see more of Conor McGovern. And also, we lost Brandon Knight. So Lambo, I've been racking my brain on this one. Who plays left tackle this week? I don't know who we have available other than the guy on the practice squad we signed last week. I think John Owning make a post about Cam Irvin playing left tackle this week.
That was gonna be my guess. is Cam Irvin, Connor Williams.
Cam Irvin is awful at tackle.
Left guard, yes.
Awful. I would rather put Steele at left tackle and put Irvin at right tackle. That's how little I think of Cam Irvin at left tackle.
Does Connor Williams still not get a chance to play any tackle at this point?
That's a good. Well, at this point, we don't have the bodies to be able to put him outside.
That's true. It's probably going to be Cam Irvin. Terrence still on the right, like normal. Connor Williams.
Yeah.
Biotish, McGovern.
Yeah.
To make up the interior, and it's going. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's going to be rough.
Yeah, especially if we're playing.
You can expect it to be rough, and it is not going to be an easy game to pull off a W.
I don't know anything about Sinat, but he can't be worse than Irvin.
Yeah, I'm. You know what I'm afraid of? It's just got that Chaz Green kind of feeling to it.
Yeah.
It really has that Chaz Green kind of feeling to it. But the scary part is that this pass rush is much better than the pass rush from that game.
Exactly.
Much better. So,
yeah.
We're going to have to get the ball out quick. Andy's got to get it out quick.
And like I said, Jack, it's usually pretty hard for a guy to clear concussion protocol within 1 week, and with us playing a Monday night game, I think it's going to be difficult. It's possible because he plays a guard position, and sometimes those positions are easier to clear injuries. But typically, a concussion is a full 6-day thing, and he'll be right at game day before he could do that. And Mendoza asked the question, would Williams be much better at left tackle than Irving going against this D-line? I just have really low I have a really low opinion of Irving at tackle. So to me, I could probably play tackle better than him. That's just me. Conor Williams was a good tackle in college. Very good tackle. If he could give me average to a little below average at tackle, I still think that's better than what Cam Irving can give you at tackle. Because Cam Irving misses blocks. I don't mean touch a guy and he go by you with a move. I mean he completely whiffs often, and that's scary at tackle.
Is he the Don Terry Poe of the offensive line?
Pretty close. Pretty close.
Hey Jeff, I like the thought there that you got there on the I like that thought. I'd like to see a few screens out there to Pollard.
A couple of good thoughts out here. Marlo says using the quick game, hitting them with the slants, and Nick says hitting them, trying to run the ball on the edges. Start Irvin and leave Bell by his side. I definitely agree. We should not see a tight end catch this whole game. That tight end should be glued to the tackles.
Yeah, I want to see Blake Bell out there more than Dalton Schultz for the fact that Blake Bell is going to be out there blocking a lot.
Yep.
And that's the only reason, because you got to you got to have somebody out there helping.
Yeah, our receivers are so talented. We could get by without our tackle our tight end being a contributor in offense.
Exactly.
All of our receivers are great. We can risk just saying our tight end is going to stay in and block and let them know that. Now they have to scheme around our 3 receivers. But they can't scheme around everybody because they can all beat one-on-one coverage if you give it to them.
We're going to need...
Hopefully they take more advantage of that.
Hopefully CeeDee Lamb could get some really good yards after the catch. Get some... really make some good yardage after the catch on a lot of these short routes this game, because we'll probably need it.
Yeah. And Mendoza, to what you say, I agree, hasn't been much. He does not work well against power. And if you put him at like a left tackle spot, he's not going to be seeing as much power as he would inside at left guard.
Exactly.
When he's left guard, everybody he's facing is probably 315 and up.
Right. And Williams is he's more of an athlete than a power dude.
Right.
Like he's a very good athlete for his size.
Yeah.
If you watch some of his workouts and things like that, the guy can move really good. So I agree with that notion as well.
And Kerry, good point. Slay did clear in a week. I'm just speculating. It's hard to clear in a week. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying the past history says it's hard for a guy to clear a concussion protocol in a week. But concussions come in different shapes and sizes, so you never know. If him clearing concussion protocols is anything like some of the calls we go on the field sometimes, he might be out a month. Especially if you think about that pass interference. I don't want to go back to that. Sorry. All right, so let's talk about something positive, because we've been hitting mostly negative stuff the whole show. And
it's hard not to.
A very major storyline is Randy Gregory will finally see the field.
Yes.
Now, Lambo, where do you think they line him up at first question? Do you think they kind of play him like a stand-up linebacker inside like they did Aldon Smith week 1? Do you think they just put him in right in and say, go get the quarterback?
I really don't know, but I don't see them having him stand up going up the middle as much.
Yeah.
I see him coming off the edge a lot more.
Yeah.
To start, at least. I do
Now-
think he makes a tremendous impact. I know he's been out a while, but I do trust what Zeke is saying about him giving fits in practice.
Yeah. Now, going back to what you say, Knicks, 12 personnel sounds good, but our only advantage is our 3 receivers.
Yeah.
You go in 12 personnel, then you're taking one of those receivers off the field. I don't want to do that. I think we'd be better off with 3 wide and hopefully hitting who's one-on-one and sticking with 11 and hoping between our running back and our tight end that they can help out enough. Because the Redskins aren't a real blitzing team. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of the interior blitzes as we saw with Arizona because that's their bread and butter. They generate pressure by blitzing. I think this game is going to be similar to what I talked about with the I believe it was the Rams, where I said they just put their 4 guys on the line and said we're going to beat your 5 guys, and everybody else just does their job. So I think we're going to see a lot of that. Their guys are great on the edge, so they're going to need help, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of blitzing. So I think tight end and running back should be able to help enough on the outside.
Yeah.
Jack Meeker asked about Aldon Smith. They said he had a neck injury today and he didn't practice. Today's Wednesday. If he misses tomorrow, then we have concerns. He's a star player. If he has any bump or bruise, he's not practicing on Wednesday. So I'm not concerned yet until I see the injury report for tomorrow. And I'm catching up a little bit, guys, so please forgive me. I see Jeff made the comment, cut Griffin and let Gregory work. Wish they would do that. Let's see what Gregory has, because I think we might need Griffin inside a little bit more.
Yeah. With the way all of these injuries have been happening, we might have to hold on to the depth we have.
Yep.
Just because you never know who's going to go down next. I mean, we've seen it all so far this year. We've had, I think, 14 now on IR or something like that.
Yep.
League leading. Insanity. Yeah, when is Sean Lee getting back out there?
I saw a report that said he was still working on the sideline, so it won't be this week.
Okay. I would say I haven't heard much about Awuzie, but I would love for him to be back out there this week.
Yeah. And based off of the reports, they did cut 2 people from the 53-man roster. One of those spots was obviously to make room for Randy Gregory.
Right.
So we're kind of assuming that second spot is probably for Awuzie, especially considering the guy they cut were both DBs. So you would assume he's going to take one of those DB spots since they cut 2 of them. Yeah. Knicks, they said Lee was working on the sideline, so I don't know if he's going to play this week or not. If he does, it'll be a welcome addition. And yeah, Jack, he did get a lot of penalties. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked to see a couple offsides just because he hasn't played in a while and he's anxious to get off that edge. But if he can come and give me a game like Aldon Smith gave me his first week, I'll take those offside penalties all day.
Hey, O'Neal, he can cover a lot better than Daryl Worley.
Whose comment was that?
Oh, it's
O'Neal.
Yeah.
Oh, O'Neal OJ.
Hey.
New name. Thank you for joining us as well. We appreciate your support. Jeff makes a good comment about Tyrone Crawford. If only they would have listened to us in the offseason and let him go. Save that $8 million and got some quality players with it.
It still makes me mad.
Yep.
It still makes me mad. Oh, my goodness, man.
All right, so let's talk about this last storyline that I have. And this one is about the anonymous source that came out this week.
Ooh,
and
spicy.
talked about the coaches and the lack of preparation and things like that. First of all, Lambo, do you believe that somebody said that, or do you believe it was a media thing?
I think somebody did say it personally. That's just off of my thoughts and opinions. Like, just seeing the way that they've played all season is what makes me think, how would someone not feel that way?
Yeah.
So
My only
But
concern
it gets
is,
exaggerated though. It gets
Yeah.
stuff like that gets exaggerated.
yeah, my only concern is when I look at how they play, when you consider scheme stuff, if you're not doing a lot of complicated blitzes, who does a scheme really affect if you're not doing like a zone blitz? Because even from week 1, all I've seen them run is cover 3 and cover 2 in the secondary. That's not rocket science. If you're a safety, you stay deep. If you're a corner, you play your zone and watch anybody who comes in it. From the D-line perspective, if you're the end, contain and seal the edge. That's not complicated. I don't see how. I mean, there are other problems with our defensive coordinator, but I haven't seen this complicated scheme that makes me think, oh, the scheme is too difficult for them to do. And that's my only issue. I think it's more just finger pointing and maybe just a media story. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. It's hard to say, man. Some of those guys will report anything just for clicks and shares and things like that. So it's really hard to say. I got distracted because there was a comment that here that I liked. It was Jesse Perez up at 10:17 p.m. Repping the Cowboys from Okinawa, Japan. That's the new one.
Yeah, thank you.
You in the Marine Corps? You in the Marine Corps, man? By chance, let me know. I know a little bit about Okinawa.
Yeah, thank you for joining us too. We appreciate your support all the way from Okinawa, Japan.
And if you are Ura, Devil Dog.
Shane Odom, he says, I bet it was Xavier Woods who said it. I actually think it was probably Jalen. Because to me, if you're talking complicated schemes, the person a complicated scheme affects the most is the linebacker, because they're the one that have to make all the calls and make all the adjustments. At safety, they make calls as well, but for the most part, you play your zone or you play deep. It's not that serious. So if I had to guess who it was, I would say it was probably a linebacker.
Yeah, that would make more sense. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you for your service. Appreciate you joining us as well again.
And Jack Meeker, trying to spread the words, shared this to 6 Facebook Cowboy groups. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for everyone sharing. Excuse me, everyone sharing.
O'Neal OJ says he probably thinks it's D-Law. You know, if it was D-Law, I think he would have said it in the media, because he really seems like he doesn't care about who he pisses off. And Jesse says 11:20 in the morning there, so we thank you for joining us in the AM.
10:20 p.m. here in the East Coast where I'm at. 9:20 for Marcus.
Yeah, and Nick says they have money now to sign guys. Doesn't matter. They have to save that money. If we believe the reports about next year and Dak, they have to save it. But there are moves they can make to help us out. And we'll talk about one of those moves now, because another storyline is we finally have a D tackle we signed. Oh, before we talk about that one, I missed a comment. Yeah. Marlowe says, should we have brought Irvin back? I don't think that was a team decision.
I think he wanted that Marinelli connection.
Exactly. And that weed farm connection in Vegas.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Hey, me too, Jack. 0341.
Yep.
Hoorah.
Yeah, Nick says lack of accountability, need a leader on defense to step up. That's true. Jacob Reynolds looks like a new name, so thank you for joining us. I know you're excited about your Lakers winning the championship, so we appreciate your support. Mendoza brings up a good point. These are the same players from last year. Difference is they fought for Garrett, and that's BS. How can you not fight for something else then? No backbone. That's a good point. So, yeah. So, like I was about to say about the last storyline that I have, we signed a D tackle named Walter Palmore, kind of a young journeyman guy from Missouri. Big guy, 6'4", 320, known for being a high-effort player, which is something we definitely need. Lambo, how do you feel about the signing?
I don't know a lot about him, honestly. I haven't done my due diligence yet.
I haven't either. But
I've been actually like I seen it, but I haven't done one little bit of research. But I'm excited to go in here and look him up and get some research in and see what I can find out.
now, as you guys know, I watch a lot of college football. I remember him from college, and he flashed often on that Missouri D line. He was a very high motor guy. And there was a guy, I believe his name was Rashad Lawrence, who was drafted this year in the draft, like second or third round. People were really high on Rashad Lawrence. But if you go back and watch Missouri play, Lawrence was getting open because this Palmore kid was just dogging guys inside. He was a junkyard dog. He was taking on double teams. And Lawrence was just able to go one-on-one with guards. And he was athletic inside guy. He was taking advantage of it. So I hope that we get to see this guy sometime within the next couple of weeks because I think he's going to bring us a little bit of toughness and aggressiveness along with what Justin Hamilton showed us a little bit of last week. So, yeah, Jack Meeker says make Poe inactive and let him back up Hamilton. I would actually love to see that.
I would too. Sure. I would too. I think they could pretty much – I would cut Poe. I really would.
Yeah. I mean,
why? Because I feel like anybody you pick up right now out of free agency or a practice squad is going to outperform him. I really believe that. I truly don't see any potential left in him right now. There's no reason to use a spot on him.
And if I go to save money for next year, let's save the money on the second year of his contract.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Taiwan? I just noticed you was in here.
Oh, yeah, Taiwan, thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate that. So, yeah, I actually wasn't that high on Lawrence. When I go back and watch those games, Lawrence was good, but he benefited a lot from that D tackle that was beside him. And hopefully, if we get this guy on the field, we get to see some of that because he's going to be inside and he's going to fight. And that's exactly what we need on the D line. We need an infusion of youth and excitement and just high motor effort. And before we go on to our key matchups, since we talk about Gallimore and Hamilton and Palmore, Lambo, when are we going to see Bradley and now on the field?
I wish I had the answer for that.
He played 0 defensive snaps this week.
What? I don't understand. I don't understand that. I really don't. I wish I could snap my fingers and fix this problem, but he needs to see snaps.
Yeah.
I have no clue. I can't even find really any reasoning why he hasn't had more snaps. I've seen a lot of others actually asking the same thing. Like, when are we going to see some Anai?
Yeah.
That he needs to have some more snaps.
And now with Gregory coming back, he's going to get pushed even further down the totem pole again.
That's true, too.
Unless they just go ahead and say, we give up on the Griffin experiment. And I believe Nix is saying Griffin at 3 tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that, but
only on pass rushing downs.
I'm not seeing a ton of effort with him with his hands and stuff, trying to get off of blocks.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is, man.
Yeah. Great question by Andre. Would Tom Sula be a better DC? If we were to make a change, I think it would be George Edwards. He's the former DC for the Vikings. He has more recent experience as DC. He's the assistant DC right now. So I think if something happened to Nolan, it would be more of a George Edwards thing. And George Edwards' staple is secondary to help the defense. Most people play D-line to help the secondary. He's kind of a reverse guy. So if he were to become the DC, our corners would have to definitely step up. And I think he would make some of those changes in terms of a Robinson and a Westry that we've been talking about. Because if you go back and watch Minnesota the past few years, they don't have great corners, but they have athletic corners that can bump and run and get their hands on the ball in terms of tips and just making it harder on the receiver. So, let's hope we can see him.
Hey, Bobby, you still watching? This one let you know if you are a Cowboy, Dale is got a prediction later on in the show towards the end, so stay tuned for that.
Oh,
yeah. I know you're always on here.
Fighting. And see if I missed any other questions. Yeah, Brian, I know you've been on the train. I've been right there with you. Let's cut Poe. Cut our losses. At some point, I don't want to call this a lost season because I still feel like we have the talent to win the division, which is not saying much. But we need to see what we have in these young guys because if the salary cap gets cut, we're going to depend on these guys a lot next year. So let's get them some reps now when expectations are low so that next year we can come back and see how we need to move some stuff around to bring in guys. Because if we get through this year, and I believe Gregory's a free agent, Griffin's a free agent, and Smith is a free agent, and I don't think Armstrong may be a free agent too, if I'm not mistaken. But if all four of those guys are free agents, we need to see what we have in Bradley and not to see can he fill that spot and us not have to bring two of those guys back to save some money.
Great point. I completely agree. Honestly, at this point, I said that earlier too. I would like to see us do something right leading up to this trade deadline to get some picks for this upcoming draft. Yep. Trade away someone that we can get a decent pick in return for, and I would love to see them give a ton of playing time to these real young guys the rest of the year, and get them a lot. Let them develop.
Yep.
So next year, when everyone's healthy, all these young guys have had a ton of playing time. They're going to be able to provide great depth, and we'll have a few extra picks, and just have a nice fresh start next year. But yeah, I would love to see a lot of these younger guys get some more snaps.
Right. Shane Odom, no, you can't trade Cooper this year. He just signed his contract. Any money you paid him in a signing bonus would just be dumped as a cap loss. And usually the first year of a deal is a cheap 1 year salary. So his cap hit would be a definite loss. There's no way you can cut him this year.
It has to be 2022, I believe. Is it 2022? You can't cut him till 2022.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or trade him, I mean.
Because they restructured Tyron Smith and D-Law and Jalen and Zeke, because they restructured all those guys, none of them can go anywhere for 2 years. Because if you do, it's going to be a major cap loss. So it won't even benefit the team.
What will be interesting is in 2022, there will be a big decision to make because you can trade Cooper in 2022.
Yeah.
But that's also the year that Michael Gallup becomes a free agent. So do you extend Michael Gallup, who will be the younger player still hitting his prime? Or we could talk about that down the road.
Yeah.
But I will say I'm in favor of extending Gallup. I'm in favor of extending Gallup at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that much.
And Taiwan, just like Irving, I think we have to sign Gregory because if we don't, Marinelli's at the East Coast. The West Coast, waiting for that free agent label to get him, and he'll be definitely going to Oakland. And Knicks, I missed your comment before, but like you said, if we don't plan on winning the Super Bowl with Andy, let's get the young guys some experience. Like I said, we got a lot of guys who are free agents. Let's go secondary. Woods is a free agent.
Exactly.
Is a free agent. Jordan Lewis is a free agent. Worley's a free agent.
Talk that talk.
Thompson is a free agent. That's 5 guys out of our secondary. We don't know what we have in Reggie Robinson at corner or safety. We need to see what he is so that we can see whether or not we need to bring some of these guys back to help bridge the gap. Chris Westry's been here 3 years on the practice squad. Let's finally give him a shot to see what he can do. He may not be as bad as these guys. We don't know.
I honestly wouldn't be against Denichi facing the fire.
Yeah.
Just because, I don't know, man. I know we can't do that right now. We're still winning the division. They're gonna until we're completely out of it. They're not gonna think like that. But in my mind, I just feel like, what are the chances that this team right now with all these injuries and Andy Dalton is going to be a Super Bowl caliber team?
I just have a philosophy. If you're a quarterback or you're a guy changing positions, you need at least 4 weeks on the bench. I mean, that's just me. I think he needs to have 4 weeks as the backup because he's been number 3
That's
all
true.
year. He's probably got 0 reps with anybody. He's just been standing beside McCarthy and saying, did you see what Dak just did? Did you see what Dalton just did? Now he's actually getting reps.
To be honest, the only reason I'm saying that is because I want us to have a good draft pick because I don't think we have a chance of making a Super Bowl push.
I think our bye week is week 9, I believe. Now,
Yeah.
week 10, I wouldn't be shocked to see us trotting him out there as the starting quarterback.
Yeah, if we do, it'll be in that last little quarter of the season.
I mean, even if we do find a way to win 2 of these next 3 games, I could still see week 10 them bringing him out there, and let's see what we got for sure.
I'd bring back Cheeto too, Elzar. That's 3 of the guys. Three of the guys that I would be interested in bringing back is Cheeto, Aldon Smith, and
Gregory.
Well, yeah, I would be interested in bringing back Gregory. So that's 3. Maybe there was another one I had in mind.
Was it a guy?
Slipping my dang
The
mind.
Woods?
Nope. I'll remember it in a second.
And like Marlo said, Ben may have to make an appearance on Sunday, depending on how the line plays. All right, guys, we talked about these storylines quite a bit. And
Joe Thomas.
We're at 57 minutes right now. And Lambo, that could take me into a whole nother tangent about Francis Bernard. I won't touch it right now because I want to, because we need to talk about the storylines and we need to give our game predictions.
Yeah, we do.
As you guys know, we don't like to keep you guys long. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate the discussion because you guys give us great feedback and comments. But I know you guys got other stuff to do. You probably watched 3 or 4 podcasts before you get to us, so you might be burnt out. So we try to hit you guys with as close to an hour as possible, and we try to keep it as segmented as possible to keep you fully engaged. So for all you people who are just now joining us, if you wonder why we do major storylines and key matchups, we do it to make sure you guys can stay engaged with us. Because if the late night hype is coming on, I may be joining you guys and watching that in about 30 minutes to an hour too.
And if you just joined, feel free to give a share. We really appreciate shares, retweets, all that good stuff. And please, again, subscribe on the YouTube channels. We're trying to grow both YouTube channels and, get a big following on there. So Marcus is Bluff City Cowboys, and I'm Cowboys Y'all. And we do stream from both of those YouTube pages as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
YouTube and Twitter.
Yeah, and Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah. All right. So now we will go into our next segment. And since we're at 1 hour, we'll try to keep this in 15 minutes or so. But we got a couple of key matchups we need to talk about. So let's get to it.
Key matchups.
All right. So the first key matchup we have to talk about is the one that's probably going to haunt us when we come back to the show next Wednesday. And that is our tackles, whoever they may be, versus their amazing defensive ends.
Woo! Chase Young.
Montez
Sweat.
And Ryan Kerrigan, the old veteran who's still getting it done. We can't forget Kerrigan. That is a 3-headed monster.
Yeah.
And for you guys that don't know, they have all 3 of their defensive ends have at least 2.5 sacks this year. So you don't get a break no matter which defensive end they have on the field. They're all coming.
Yeah.
And I believe Chase Young has missed a game, and he still has 3 sacks. So,
yep.
And Andre, they move these guys around so much, you really can't say who's going to be on who. They could.
Yeah.
I mean, you really don't know. We just have to see the ends.
And Chase Young versus Steele is just probably going to be just as bad as Chase Young versus Irving.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like,
Lambo, let's not talk about Irvin this show. Please, let's not say his name. Let's just say left tackle.
yeah.
I really don't like that guy. I'm terrified of that matchup. I almost want to see them pull the kid from Mexico out and see what he can do. Just see Cam Irvin, and that guy probably doesn't even know what football is yet.
Yeah, not NFL football anyways.
But yeah, let's talk about these ends. We talked about it before. Nick's brought up running more 12 personnel to get 2 tight ends on the field. I don't think you can do that consistently and still have the offense that we're used to running. So we have to do more 11, which would be 1 tight end. So if you were the offensive coordinator or the offensive line coach, how would you try to scheme up which side your tight end is going to play on? Are you going to consistently help whoever the left tackle is? Are you going to have him try to follow where you see Chase Young or Sweat at? They're both monsters, so you really can't do that. What would be your philosophy on how do we help our tackles?
Really, just you're going to help who the weaker link is. So
Okay, which one is the weaker link?
Yeah, whoever is struggling the most, that's who I'm gonna put some help over with, and just let the other one fend for himself.
Yeah.
Try to survive. The interior worries me too. I'm scared in the interior. Connor Williams hasn't been great at left guard. We all seen that. Tyler Biadasz has held his own, but he's still a rookie. Conor McGovern's not played much at all. And are they gonna what are they gonna do to confuse them in the interior?
Jeff said 22 personnel. So you want to go
keep 2 backs blocking?
2 backs and 2 tight ends, 1 receiver?
We ain't gonna go nowhere doing that.
Hey, it may get that bad. I hate to say it. I can't wait till we do over under on Sunday. I'm putting the sack number high to see where we go over under it.
I just now seen that comment, but I now lost it.
That's a good point, Nix. We're not going to have the same offense period with Dalton. 12 personnel is key. So put this in the comments, Nix. If we run 12 personnel, are we going to keep the tight ends in the whole game, or are they going to go out and run routes? Because if you tell me we're going to still run 12 personnel, but they're going to like alternate running routes, I'd rather just see 11 and have 3 receivers out there and just hit them with the slants, stuff like that. Maybe we have way too much respect for these ends. They've earned it, but I feel like you got to do what your strength is, because their strength is the pass rush. And if we allow their strength to dictate what we do, we've already lost. So if you're taking arguably our best receiver and CeeDee Lamb off the field to bring in a tight end to be an extra blocker, I think they've already dictated what we do, and they've already beaten us. So I say you do what the strength is, and if they beat you like that, they just earned it. But we can't let them dictate and make us do something we haven't seen all year.
If we beat them enough times, if we can show them that we can beat them with having our 3 receivers out there, man, they're gonna have to lighten up a little bit.
I don't know if our line is good enough for boot plays. Their ends are awesome. I mean, Sweat runs a 4.3, and Chase Young probably runs a 4.5. Bootleg ain't gonna work that much against speed like that. Those guys are coming. And you guys, Mendoza and Nix, always on the same wavelength, both saying mix it up, keep that security blanket, keep them off balance, max protect for sure. I think this is a good game where we need to start bringing the draw in more, because for some reason I've watched every game the Redskins have played. I don't know how that happened, but I've seen every game in full. And those ends, they play the run on the way to the pass. Almost like two Robert Quinns out there. So that draw play can open up some stuff if we use it right.
Yeah. Thank you, Jack, so much. I just seen your comment. You say you love watching this show rather than a lot of the others out there. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. And I see Taiwan and Shane Odom both saying put a fullback in front of Zeke. Well, we don't have a fullback on the team right now, so that's going to be kind of hard to do.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz you could see back there in that little H-back role, though.
Yeah. So instead of doing 12 personnel, you do 21, but your tight end is a fullback. Mm-hmm. That could maybe work. I don't think Zeke likes running with the fullback in front of him, though, honestly. I mean, I don't see why they would get rid of Keith Smith unless Zeke just said, put me in single back. Because a lot of backs do that. I know Adrian Peterson did it. He said, I didn't want a fullback in front of me, and they got rid of him. Yeah. So, yeah, that's something to think about. And Nick said their DTs aren't trash. Their DTs are susceptible to the run, though. They get gashed up the middle quite a bit. Their linebackers aren't good. That's something else. This might be a good running game. I won't say a Zeke game. This may be a good running game for us because, like I said, those ends are going to be rushing wide. The D tackles aren't that good against the run, and their linebackers are average, other than John Bostic.
I'm hoping it's a great running game, and I'm hoping that Zeke just has this kill mentality coming into this game.
Yeah, I'm looking at Jeff's comments about run goal line the whole game. That could be a good option.
Are we getting 2016 Zeke back?
That's true. Yeah, you could run play action out of our formation too, but again, we don't have a fullback, and they got rid of the fullback for a reason. I mean, McCarthy has never been known to have a fullback on his team, so maybe he doesn't want a fullback. Ioannidis is legit. You're right. But yeah, we got our work cut out for us. And there was another comment up top about their corners not being very good. I believe it was Knicks that made the comment.
Yeah, I think it was.
I don't know how, but one of their corners has 4 interceptions on the year.
4?
4, yes. I can't remember his name right now. He was the kid that used to play with he plays with Washington now. I think he played with Kansas City. He was the nickel corner. I'm bad at names when I'm trying to think of them, guys. So he was the nickel corner for Kansas City, and they traded him to Washington. And now he's their starting outside corner. And he has 4 interceptions this year. So he's doing something right. Fuller. Thank you, Mendoza. Anytime I need a name, Mendoza's got me covered. But yeah, Fuller has 4 interceptions this year.
Wow.
Now the other corners, Jimmy Moreland and Fabian Moreau, I don't have a lot of faith in them. But that Fuller kid's been playing some ball this year. And that takes us to another key matchup, and that's our receivers versus their corners. Now, again, Fabian Moreau is hot garbage. So either either Lamb or Cooper should have some real advantages to take advantage of because they've been playing Fuller outside as their number 1 corner all year. So, again, I think we need to take advantage of our 3 wides and hope they can beat these guys off the line quick.
And Elazar, Cole Holcomb's the dude I wanted us to draft.
Yep.
I had wanted us to draft that dude.
I've heard you mention the name before, too.
Yeah. I think it was back before the draft. Or no, it was after the draft, I think. I can't remember. But.
We'll talk about the offense in a moment, Francisco. And also, they have a safety who can make some plays in Landry. He hasn't been doing it a lot, but this is one of those games where he's very familiar with us, and he may step up. But he plays in the box a lot, though.
They did have John Kuhn. I remember that now.
Yeah, Green Bay did have John Kuhn.
The,
You're
the
right.
fans used to chant.
Yeah, but they treated him more like an H-back than a fullback. He wasn't really a guy who blocked. He was really more just a 5-yard route runner. Andre asked a question about will McCarthy take over play calling if we can't put points on the board? At some point, go ahead, Lambo.
I was just gonna say I've been waiting to see if that is gonna happen.
For sure. I don't know. I mean, I think we're gonna see some wholesale changes come by week. So 2 more weeks. If this thing doesn't look somewhat consistent, I expect for us to come back out of the bye week and see a lot of changes. But I think they have to kind of stay where they are right now until they get a chance to take a step back and reevaluate a lot of stuff.
True. That question. No, I do think he gets a pass this year. This is first. I mean, you've seen. First of all, we've seen what happened. We've seen how everything went down with Jason Garrett. I know they did have a history. They had a big history together. This is like the first year that a Garrett's not being paid by Jerry Jones since like. I think they said it was like the early '90s or like way back. But he does get a pass this year, and one of the reasons I think for that is, I mean, we didn't really have a big off season. A preseason, we didn't. We lead the league with about 14 IR players on IR. Mm-hmm. There's just so many injuries, so much going on.
They have 10 excuses, basically.
Yeah, there's just too many excuses to not give him another year. Your franchise quarterback's out. There's just too much going on for them to put it all on McCarthy. I think this year he'll definitely have another.
Yeah,
I think he'll have another few years at the least.
Now, Nick brings up an interesting point about Kyle Allen, the quarterback of the Redskins. I think a key matchup, if you do the flip side, our ends versus their tackles, because their tackles aren't that good. And we get Randy Gregory back this week, who's going to be hungry. Hopefully we see some Gregory Smith combinations on the outside to take advantage of that. Kyle Fuller is terrible against a decent pass rush. And Nix, we thank you for joining us. I catch you guys every Tuesday as well, so we appreciate you returning the favor tonight. Looking forward to seeing what you guys bring us in your pregame show, and if you do your during the game or you're just a thread in general. So thanks for joining.
See you, Nix.
So yeah, like I was saying about Kyle Allen, he's terrible against any kind of rush. So if we can get any kind of pressure going, this should be a good game for our defense. And Jeff asked a question.
Damn it. No, Jeff. No. In my opinion, no.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think he gets a pass. Did you mute your mic, Lambo, on purpose? Okay. Just making sure. But yeah.
I was opening up another beer.
Okay. But yeah, I don't think Nolan gets an excuse at all.
Talk about Nolan. Got to open up another one.
I mean, if you look at the defense, they don't have a lot of major injuries. I mean, we lost Van Der Esch for a couple of games, but our linebackers are talented enough to keep the ship afloat.
Yeah.
McCoy was a loss, but that was during the offseason, so it didn't really affect the regular season. You got these draft picks that you're not using. You got these other guys you signed. You signed 3 guys. 2 of them are still here. They're both trash. Is that Nolan giving the check to say we need to sign these guys?
I don't know, because it's not very Will McClay-ish to bring in bad talent.
Brought in HaHa.
Is it?
No, didn't even play a game.
HaHa is definitely a tie to McCarthy. It had to be, because you don't really see McClay bring in guys that don't help, that don't end up helping. McClay's been a mastermind at finding good, helpful talent.
And one thing about McClay, I've been tweeting about this all season. McClay normally brings in guys we haven't heard of, and they become stars.
Exactly.
And that's what fans have been complaining about for years. We don't get any big names. We don't make a splash. But we sign a guy like David Irvin off Kansas City practice squad. He becomes a Pro Bowler. Antoine Woods comes in from Tennessee's practice squad, becomes an instant starter. Joe Smith comes in from Green Bay.
Joe Thomas.
Joe Thomas gives us quality snaps on a regular basis.
Even Malcolm Smith was productive.
Malcolm Smith was productive when he was here. We brought in Michael Bennett last year, and he gave us a spark. The kid who played backup defensive end, last year. I can't think of his name right now. I went blank on his name.
Yeah, the number.
Mendoza, get it to me in a minute.
What's the number?
I can't think of his number.
Where did he play for? Oh, come on.
He came from.
Oh, why am I not thinking? All right,
Did he come from Green Bay? No, he didn't.
Think.
It'll come back to me. But anyway, the fact that I can't think of his name lets you know Will McClay finds talent.
Mayoa? No,
not Mayoa.
That's a few years ago.
That's a few years ago. But yeah,
a few years ago.
He finds talent that aren't big names to come in and give you high quality production. That's something they didn't do this year. This year they brought in names. Thank you, Taiwan. Kerry Hyder. Exactly. Kerry Hyder.
Lions.
Yeah, Kerry Hyder was probably had more almost sacks than I've ever seen in somebody's season. I could probably count 9 almost sacks that he could have had last year. But that's another guy. Nobody knew who he was, really. He came in and produced. Now we go to this year. We get all these big names in. One guy doesn't even make it to the season, and the other 2 guys we want to cut by week 2. So I say that to say, how much did Nolan have in terms of influencing them to bring in these guys? Oh, good point too, Chris Davis. Robert Quinn. People thought he was washed up, and look what he did when he came here.
Man, I would like to have Quinn this year. Actually, how is Quinn doing this year? I haven't been following him, to be honest.
He's been injured pretty much all year. I think he's only played 2 games, maybe. So he hasn't done much.
Yeah.
I think they're about to start rolling now, though. They look really good. So again, their tackles aren't household names. Our ends should really take advantage of that. And I think they should force Kyle Allen into making some mistakes, about as many as we expect Dalton to make.
Yeah.
And also, leading into another key matchup, they don't have any weapons. They have one main weapon,
Maclaurin,
and that is Scary Terry Maclaurin
and Gibson.
Gibson too, and McKissick. Those are their 3 guys. Maclaurin versus Diggs. We talk about it every week. Diggs gets all these premier receivers, and now he gets another one in Terry McLaurin.
That's why I was laughing at Rosie's comment.
Yeah, I saw that. But yeah.
I'm a little sick.
So Diggs had a great game against Hopkins last week. To me, McLaurin is the same type of guy. 6'1", 6'2" guy, not an elite route runner, not very fast, but when the ball gets in the air, he's going to come down with it.
And that's a good matchup for Diggs.
That's a very good matchup for Diggs. That's his game. He's going to play tight coverage. He's going to play the ball. He's going to use his length. So that should be a war all game.
I know Antonio Gibson hasn't been an absolute terror this year, but with the way we've let running backs, I mean, you seen Kenyon Drake's stat sheet last week. I think Gibson is more talented than quite a few of the backs that have gave us a ton of trouble. So I think that Gibson could give us some fits this game.
Yep. Now, talking about McLaurin versus Diggs, I'm going to make a guarantee. I never make guarantees. But like I said, for some reason, I've watched every Washington game they played. I'm guaranteeing Diggs gets a pick this week. Guarantee. The way they play is a perfect storm for Diggs. Allen's going to force the ball into McLaurin. Diggs is going to be on tight coverage. And there's going to be a ball that Diggs is able to get his hands on and keep it. I'm guaranteeing Diggs gets a pick this week. And it's on tape, so you guys can call me next week if I'm wrong. So now let's talk about, we talked about Gibson a little bit, talking about the running game. They have another key matchup we need to watch, and that's J.D. McKissick. And I wish my boy Terry was watching right now because I know he'd be out in the comments jumping up and down. That's been kind of his guy. J.D. McKissick is their number 2 receiver right now, and he's their backup running back. They play him a lot in the slot. They play him a lot out of the backfield. Now that we got LVE out there, that's going to be his responsibility. Do you think he's up for it, Lambo?
Yeah. Hey, got the jersey on.
Yeah.
Woo! He's gonna, yeah, he's up for it. I think he's gonna do very well. Second game back, I think he's got all the jitters out. Time to hunt.
Yep, for sure. All right, so this goes into our very last key matchup, and that is I won't say Zeke, I'll say our running game versus their defensive line. Now, we've been talking about how vaunted their defensive ends are and how they have all these first-round picks at D tackle. But they've given up at least 150 yards rushing every game except week 1. Every game they've given up 150 yards rushing. That's not a fluke. We're at week 7. Is this the week that we can get Zeke or whoever off the rut, gash them down, gash them right up the middle, and make some productive runs?
I'm gonna say yes, and the reason I'm gonna say yes is I don't know. It just feels like it feels like the right time.
Yeah.
We weren't able to establish the run last week.
Mm-hmm.
Zeke, that was Zeke's fault, really. You know, we went down 14 because of him.
Yeah.
And I feel like Zeke's gonna he's gonna come out with a huge chip back on his shoulder, running like a madman. I don't know. It's just a gut thing, really. I don't even have any analytics behind it. I just feel like Zeke is gonna come out just going nuts. He's gonna be hyped. He's gonna be running hard. They know that we're not gonna have time to, I don't know. They're gonna if we can control the clock and run the ball, they're gonna prefer that over having Andy Dalton back there with that pass rush. So my gut says yes, it's gonna be a big run day.
Yeah.
Big day on the ground, should I say.
I agree. When I saw that stat, I was like, okay, we got to take advantage of this. There's something wrong here. And Steve Gibson, like you said, they have a nasty front four, but the stats show they give up a lot of rushing yards. So for whatever reason that is, it could be, like I said, their ends play the run on the way to the pass, kind of like what Robert Quinn did last year, and they could just be leaving open running lanes. It could be their D tackles aren't as good as we think they are. For some reason, people run the ball on them well. So, yeah, what happens?
Seen a nasty tweet. By nasty, I mean it says Dontari Poe plus Everson Griffin plus Tyron Crawford equals $18,850,000 of 2020 cap space. Whew.
That's a lot of money.
All
right, guys, before we close this thing out, do you guys have any key matchups you want to talk about in this game? This person versus that person. I don't even know if their receivers count as a key matchup. Like, every week, we normally know what our weaknesses are. Guys who are elite route runners in the inside and guys who are fast on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have either one of those. So to me, this game bodes very well for our corners. On top of that, we should get a Awuzie back, which I think will be very beneficial towards helping put Worley on the bench and hope that he knows and hope Awuzie knows how to run cover 3. So, Lambo, let me ask you this question before we do our game predictions. If Awuzie comes back, do you play? This will be the first time all of our corners are playing since week 1. Do you put Awuzie inside and play Brown outside, or do you play Awuzie outside and play Lewis inside? Where does Awuzie play? Slot or outside?
I think he plays on the outside with Brown on the inside, personally.
Okay, so you think they put Brown inside?
I think they put Brown inside and Awuzie on the outside.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Chris Davis, we kind of talked about that a little bit. Specifically, our tackles. It's going to be a long day.
Yeah.
Their ends are no joke, all three of them, and their D tackles are both first rounders. But again, people run the ball on them. And Mendoza said, Tyler B versus Payne and Allen. It's going to be a big test for sure. But again, I think his strengths match up with what they do. He's a power guy. I think they're both power guys, not a lot of pass rush moves. And people have run the ball on them for some reason. So hopefully we could take advantage of that. Lambo, did you want to try the phone lines before we get out of here, or?
Yeah. And stay tuned as well, y'all. Don't hop out yet. We still got Cowboy Dale's predictions.
Do you want to do Cowboy Dale's prediction first before we do ours? Give you a few minutes to think about it?
Yeah.
All right. So let's hope this works, because I've been playing around with it the entire first half of the show. So every week you guys ask for Cowboy Dale, and we try not to bother him because he's one of our top supporters, and we want to make sure that he stays engaged with us. But sometimes, especially when it's a rivalry week, we want to get his prediction. So let's hope this works. And I believe we have Cowboy Dale's game prediction.
This is Cowboy Dale from Cowboys Y'all. Ow! Look, man, Mike Nolan, man, his cornbread ain't done in the middle. That's what I'm about to say right now. But look, I still think, even though we're missing a bunch of pieces, man, the team's not really trying hard, man. They look like they're too tired to swat a gnat. You know what I'm saying, man? But look, I think the game is going to be close still. I think that Washington football team is going to be winning. And then what's going to happen is Trayvon Diggs is going to get a pick six, his first interception of the year, and he's going to take it to the house, man. They've been slacking off this season on defense. You know, tell you what, they have a little bit of hitch in their giddy up. But Trayvon Diggs is going to get a pick six. Going to win the game for us, man, right in the end. Yeah, baby. Woo! Cowboy Dale with Cowboys Y'all. Now I'm out, man.
All right, Cowboy Dale with the game prediction. Hey, that jersey look kind of familiar, Lambo.
I know you wear the same jersey as me.
I know.
And look, that's pretty funny that he had you notice he had the same prediction as you did about Trayvon Diggs.
Yep, first interception. And I didn't even watch this before. So I had no clue what it was.
That's why I was smiling earlier.
Yeah.
I took a sneak peek at the Cowboy Dale video.
And like Brian says, Lambo, say it for me.
That's how Cowboy Dale does it.
You have the best Cowboy Dale impersonation.
I know.
I don't know why, but hey.
Poor Bobby missed it. Bobby always sticks around and he missed it.
Yep.
He ain't in here.
I don't think they look that much alike, Jeff. Cowboy Dale's hair is longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than Jersey, yeah. All right, so Lambo, you had a few minutes. You got to watch Cowboy Dale. He didn't give us a score, but he did say Cowboys win. So with that being said, let's get into our game predictions.
Game prediction.
All right, so Lambo, have you had a chance to think about this and what your game prediction is and what score you plan on doing? Or
nope.
Do you go first? All right, I'll go first then.
I'll do it off the top.
All right, well, I'll give you a few minutes to think about it because I kind of thought about it while Cowboy Dale was talking. Like I said before, I think it was about the Seattle game. We really match up well against this team, in my opinion. Their ends are awesome. For some reason, people can run the ball against them. I don't know why. I think we get to take advantage of that like everybody else has so far. So I think we run the ball well. I think we take advantage of a few receiving plays because outside of Fuller, they don't really have a lot of respect in their secondary. I think defensively, I think we're slowly getting our rhythm in terms of finding good matchups. We still have a couple of brain farts here and there, like the big 69-yard run. But I feel like if they take Poe off the field and they found something in Hamilton and this Palmore kid gets some reps, I feel like they can kind of right the ship inside. We get Randy Gregory back. He's going to help outside. We get a Awuzie back. He's going to help in the secondary. And Washington hasn't scored more than 20 points at all this year. As bad as I think we're going to look, I think we put up more than 20 points. So I put this score, Cowboys 27, Redskins 19.
Okay. I'm leaning at 27. Cowboys 27, Redskins 24.
Wow, you get it. You got it close.
Yeah, I do.
Now, what's the reason you have it so close?
I'm just worried, man. I don't know. Like, every time I'm optimistic, it backfires. I don't know. I just think it's going to be tougher than people think. I'm just considering the O-line and the not knowing exactly how that's going to play out, or how if we can't establish the run for any reason at all, if the run just isn't working and we can't establish the run, it could get real dangerous dropping back to pass.
Yeah.
If he has to throw the ball over 40 times, I'm not going to like it. So I don't know.
I really doubt it.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I hope not. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a tough game. I think it's gonna kind of be the same on both ends. Is why I'm thinking it's gonna be close.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like their offense don't really scare me.
Yep.
And I think with Gregory back, I think our defense is gonna be kind of. I think we're gonna show more of that defense we showed on the first 3 drives of last week.
I agree.
We're not gonna make it easy on them, but at the same time, I feel like we're gonna have our struggles going up against the elite pass rushers they have, and I just see it being a close game. I don't know.
I mean, even if you go back to last week, until Zeke's 2 consecutive fumbles, that game was 0-0.
It was
a very good Cardinals offense.
Yeah, much better offense than this Washington offense.
Exactly, and we add 2 defensive pieces back this week.
Yeah.
So I think the defense is gonna look better than it has in the past. I feel like we're going to see a little bit more rush, better coverage. Now that we got the safety position a little bit taken care of, guys haven't blown coverages like with Thompson. Hopefully Awuzie doesn't blow coverage like we saw with Worley. Diggs has been pretty consistent so far outside of a few plays here and there. So, again, I agree. I don't think they score over 20. I know you got them 24-27. But I think we take this one. And like Jack Meeker says, even when we've been terrible in the past, we still beat Washington. That's just one of those things you can set your clock to. I see.
Thanks, Lamar, for tuning in, man. I see you just joined.
Yeah, I agree as well, Lamar. We get back to the run game. Redskins are giving up over 100 yards every game except week 1. So hopefully we can continue the trend. You think they get a defensive touchdown? Well, hey, I wouldn't be surprised.
I was laughing at Shane's comment.
Shane?
Man, I'm honored that you even threw me in that mix. I mean, Cowboy Dale into that mix.
Yeah.
What am I talking about?
Andre said we start slow and find our rhythm at the end of the third quarter.
Cowboy Dale, Rowdy, or Crazy Ray. Yeah, I can't even be in that conversation yet, bro.
All right. Mendoza, I see you said about Washington giving a big TD. Give us your game prediction. I don't think you gave us one. And Jeff, if you're still there, give us your game prediction as well. See if there's anybody else who's been pretty consistent. Taiwan, if you're still here, haven't heard from you since you first joined us.
Jeff's waiting for the calling line.
Let me go ahead and turn the call line on. Let me see if I can get it to work tonight. I've been having a lot of technology issues today, so let's see if we can get this one right at least.
Hey, everything's went well so far.
Yeah. Give me a second. I got to change the screen.
Rosie says, I think Zeke will get over 100 yards this week. Cowboys win 37-34. Field goal will win the game. I was kind of thinking that too with the 27-24. Greg the Leg closing another one out for us.
Yeah.
With one of those scary kicks that just every single time wants to go outside and back in.
Exactly.
Oh, why does this? I don't know why his kicks do that. It scares me to death. It's like, woo! Boom. The Cowboys.
All right.
Zone.
The phone lines are now open. Well,
24-10.
Minutes.
Ooh, I would love for our defense to hold them to 10 points, considering the last 5 weeks teams have scored over 34. That would be
Jeff has 24-10. Mendoza has 26-23 in another close one.
Yeah, I'm with you in that range of outcomes. 27-24, 26-23 sounds good.
All right, so let's hope it works. Taiwan 17-10. All right, I'm keeping score. I'm keeping track of these. Nobody's hit it on the head yet. Hopefully we get one week. I almost got it. I had Carolina score. I mean, the Cardinals score right. I just didn't have ours right. All right, guys, the phone lines are open. And while we go there, we're at 1 hour 37 minutes. We will go into our last segment of the show, and that is everyone's favorite, and that's bold predictions. Oh, wrong button.
Bold predictions.
So while I get this right, Lambo gives us a precursor to it, and now we're ready for bold predictions.
Bold predictions.
All right.
He does it better. That guy's voice does it better.
Oh, you got a phone call coming in. Let's see who it is. All right, caller, you on the line? Hello? Hello?
Jeff said the phone line's not.
Lambo called it right. I was waiting to call in.
Okay.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I was picking up your computer in the back. Yeah, it's kind of loud in the back, Jeff. Turn it down for me.
Zeke goes for 120. Taiwan says.
Yeah, I got Taiwan down 120.
You're gonna really like this.
Go ahead before Jeff gets his and steals it.
I got Zeke going for 176 yards and 3 touchdowns.
All right, Lambo living in fantasy land.
I hope so. He's on my fantasy team in my money league. I could really use it because he screwed me last week. Zeke caused me to lose last week.
All right, guys. Taiwan beat you to the first bold prediction, so let's get you guys bold predictions in before we close out of here. And if we ever do hit a bold prediction or a game prediction, we will give out a prize. So I'm keeping up with them. McCarthy does not challenge to play. Has he challenged to play? That's a good point. Never thought about that.
I don't think he's challenged one play this season that I can remember. Has he?
Steve Gibson, 2 TDs.
That really would be a bold prediction, even more so than normal, because we're thinking that the tight ends are going to have to do a little bit more blocking this game. And if that is the case,
yeah,
then again, that could open them up in the red zone more.
Oh, Rose, I'm sorry I missed your game prediction and bold prediction. So Cowboys 37-34. Boy, you got the Redskins putting some points, or the football team putting some points up on us.
Redskins gonna score 34 points.
If they score 34, I might be concerned.
I'm sorry, not the Redskins.
Can we just change their name back? Like this, I can't get used to this, man. Like, just give them their name back.
All right. Brian thinks Gregory does Aldon Smith impersonation with 2 sacks in his first game back.
Gregory with 15 hurries.
Andre says Andy gets sacked. I don't know how bold of a prediction that is, Andre. He gets sacked 4 times on a strip fumble.
Actually,
We almost saw that last week.
I'm going to add in a defensive bold prediction. Randy Gregory gets 7 hurries.
Okay.
Bold prediction.
All right, Jeff, you got a bold prediction for us? Or Lambo takes them all?
Prediction.
What'd you say, Jeff?
I got 2 bold predictions, actually.
What you got?
All right, so my first bold prediction is Greg the Leg going to kick 5 field goals.
5 field goals, okay.
That said
he
6
gonna make
last
5?
week and was way off.
Is he going to make 5
I
field
think it's going
goals?
to be a low scoring game. Yeah, he's gonna make all 5 of them.
All right.
And the last one, he's gonna scare Limbo. He's gonna do one of those weird kicks where it start off the outside and cut his side.
That's every kick, Jeff. That's not
Yeah.
that bold. All right,
Those
Mendoza.
are 5 kicks of the bold prediction.
Mendoza got 5 sacks for the defense. I actually think that's possible. Well, we'll save that for over under on Sunday. All right, so I think all the regulars have pretty much given us their bold.
You got Lamar's? I might have missed it.
Yeah, he says
All
Zeke
right.
125 and Pollard.
Did you get Francisco?
Yeah, CD 130 and TD.
I could see that because I'm thinking CD. I'm thinking a lot of underneath routes out of the slot. Us having to get the ball out quick, let him get some run after catch.
Yeah.
It could happen.
You know, I haven't given my bold prediction yet. I haven't.
I
even
got
thought
one more
about
bold prediction.
Go ahead, Jeff. While I think about one.
All right, my next bold prediction is gonna be Donovan Wilson gets a pick 6.
Pick 6, huh?
Oh, Donovan Wilson. Yeah. See that
Yeah,
preseason
big
for him. Preseason Donovan Wilson. That one that was getting all them picks.
All right. I
Pick
don't
6.
have a specific bold prediction, but my prediction is we get 3 defensive turnovers.
I like that.
I'm predicting. I'm gap. This is not a bold prediction. This is a guarantee. Diggs gets a pick this week. That's a guarantee. But we get 2 more somewhere else. 2 more turnovers.
It's gonna happen. This is the week. This is the week for Diggs, and you know what? Bold predictions are so fun. I got one more.
All right.
You're gonna like this one. I got one more.
All right.
Anaya is gonna see 15 snaps rushing the passer.
Okay. You know
15.
what's interesting about Anaya?
Bold.
Mike McCarthy came out in the interview today and said he tries to give all the defensive players at least 10 snaps. He said that in the interview. But then I go back and look at the stat sheet for the past 3 weeks, and Bradley and I had 0 snaps, and Francis Bernard had 0 this past week, and like maybe 7 the week before. So it's like, don't give us lip service on stuff we can go look up for ourselves. That's a problem I have. Like when you look at game film, anybody who has $50 can get the all 22 tape. You see people posted all the time on social media pointing out where Worley made a mistake, or Thompson made a mistake, or Jalen, or Everson Griffin. This stuff is on tape. Anybody who has a basic understanding of football concepts can look at a play and say, this guy didn't do his job. How can they come out and tell us they're pleased with the effort, or this was our best week of preparation? But you see a guy give up an 80-yard touchdown on a basic cover 3 concept, and you're probably going to start him again this week.
We like the guys we have.
Well, you know it.
Exactly.
Well, you know it don't surprise you though, because it came out also this week that McCarthy did a little, for lack of a better term, lying in the interview. Said that he watched so much film on every player and all that stuff, and he admitted that he lied about that.
Yeah.
So it don't really surprise me.
J Tuck in the house.
Joining us right before we close it out, but we appreciate it nonetheless. And like you said,
I think
we
you just got a
staff. Yeah, I think he did just get off his own podcast. So I'm sorry I missed it. I'll try to go back and catch it.
With what's their name?
If not, Cowboys fans only. But if not, I'm sure I'll catch you Friday night with whatever guest you have on. And by the way, great job on what you're doing, man. Keep it up.
He was with Skywalker Still tonight. Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
yeah, Skywalker Still.
Okay. All right, I have to go find that and look at it. Yeah, I know you guys are big on the graphics, so I'm sure it's gonna be a great production. But yeah, like I was saying, this all 22 stuff. Like, how can you come out and lie to us like this? Like, I can't go pull up the all 22 and see where Everson Griffin didn't contain like he always does it. Mm-hmm. And you're playing against a quarterback who runs a 4-3, and your ends are consistently rushing behind him. That's a basic football concept. If you have a scrambling quarterback, you never go behind him in your pass rush. If you can see the back of his jersey, you come back to fill that hole. They were just rushing around and putting Jalen in a situation where he has to try to catch up with Murray in space, and he's never going to win that matchup. That's basic football. And you say we had a good week of preparation? That should have been the first thing you said in meetings. This guy is fast. Do not let yourself see his jersey back, the back of his jersey. If you see the back of his jersey, he's going to take off and kill us. And that's exactly what he did. Sorry, that's my rant. That's my rant for this day.
Maybe
maybe
they get it right before the Baltimore game. If it's not, it's going to be ugly.
Yeah, because he'll run it from anywhere, straight up the middle, whatever.
But when they try to feed us that mess, and like you said, everybody can see the all 22, right. The first thing that comes to my mind is,
you sit on a throne of lies.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Throne of lies. So, yeah, like, how can you watch Poe? Like, if you go back and watch that 70-yard run by I have to go find them.
My bad.
I don't know what that was. But if you go back and watch that 70-yard run, it was because Poe was playing the guy one-on-one, and the guy just picked him up and moved him out of the way and left a gaping hole. That was 100% his fault. And you look at that and say, we don't have a problem with this guy, and he's probably going to start this week. I don't care if Walter Palmore doesn't even put on pass this week. I'd rather see him on the field than what I saw with Poe. Well, I've seen with Poe.
100%.
Yeah, Jack Meeker, excited to see our D-line with two excellent pass rushers outside. Definitely looking forward to that. Jack says also the D-line as a whole gets 4 sacks. Andre, good point. Every interview McCarthy does makes Garrett look better. And followed up with Jack, the NASCAR package. The one we've been
Sorry.
So yeah, hopefully we see that this week. And then Jack came back with his other bold prediction, Gregory with 5 penalties.
Don't like that.
Yeah. So for sure. So Jeff, before we go, you got anything you want to talk about? Any topics? Guys, before we get out of here with hour 49, if you guys got something else you want to talk about.
Oh, dang. See, it just flies by. It
really does.
It's fun. Nice little break in the middle of the week.
The only thing I want to talk about is I think this game is definitely a winnable game.
Mm-hmm.
For us, my only fear is that this being such a winnable game, that it don't give us false hope. We still got some problems and stuff that we need to correct.
Yeah.
And I know you said earlier that we'll see a lot of changes at the bye week.
Yep.
I think the changes need to start earlier than that. At least smaller changes. But like I said, games like this is going to kind of give us a false hope because, I mean, it's a chance we can come out and just murder the Redskins. And then all of a sudden everybody's back on the bandwagon and we're this and we're that. Yeah, but like I said, we still got some glaring problems that we need fixed. And I just don't want everybody to get the hype. I mean, you're a fan first, so yeah, be happy about the win, but look at the small things in the win as well.
Yep, exactly. So before we go, we haven't even touched this
So
topic
that's
yet.
my only take.
We haven't touched this topic yet. Jeff, we'll let you go first since me and Lambo been talking for an hour and a half. We haven't talked about Andy Dalton. I don't want to talk about the game last week because, to be honest, all of that was to be expected from me. First week, you lose your best lineman. You're kind of scrambling. They're bringing the heat nonstop. What do you expect from Andy Dalton this week with a second week as the guy? What do you expect to see from him this week? If you don't want to give me specific stats, that's fine. Just tell me what you expect to see in terms of how he performs.
Well, I definitely expect to see a better performance. I think we're going to see a better grasp of offense. He hadn't played in an actual game last year sometime. And, I mean, he was coming in pretty much with a defensive coordinator that blitzes, I mean, like, wow, like it's crazy. Like you said, he won't see a lot of those blitzes this game. So I hope that he's able to do a lot of audibles. I think that
so cool.
This D-line is going to come hard. They're going to come hard, real hard. I think we need to utilize, like I said, screen passes, slant.
Yeah.
And also a little bit of his mobility. He's not the most mobile quarterback, but he's not a Tom Brady just standing in the pocket, still statue quarterback either. So, maybe not a whole lot of bootleg, but maybe let's throw one in there every once in a while and kind of see what happens, especially, trying to set him up something. But he's going to play better. He definitely going to play better.
Yeah.
My only hope is that the offensive line can give him time, because if no quarterback would look good if they had the time that Dalton had last week.
Yeah.
Nobody.
That's true.
And it also hurts. It hurts so bad. And I know I'm going to hurt you when I say this, Marcus, but Lord, we drafted Taco over Buddha Bacon. Oh my God.
And TJ Watt. And
just wonder what could have been.
But Lambo
and TJ Watt.
TJ Watt was a good player, but Jeff talked to me all the time. I was hurt we didn't take Buddha Bacon in that draft. I was like, we've been needing a safety forever. This kid is a playmaker. He can get it done, and people frown on him because of his height. I said, damn the height. This kid is a baller, and he's showing it. But yeah, Deshaun Taylor, what's up? Also,
what's up, Deshaun?
Join us.
Yo, Cole.
So, Lambo, you want to go next with your expectations of Dalton this week?
Yeah. And Cole, go back. I know you just joined. Go back and skip back a little bit. Watch the little Cowboy Dell prediction. I think you'll like that, bro. And thank you, Cole. For the donation to help me get this ring light that I have right here. I appreciate that, man, and it looks great. Thank you. My prediction is on Andy is that he's going to look more comfortable this week. Obviously, he didn't get a preseason.
Yeah.
And, was behind Dak all year. He only got a week, to really get into things. But I think, as strange as it sounds with this pass rush and with losing Brandon Knight and Zach Martin likely not playing, I still have a weird feeling that he's going to seem fairly comfortable compared to last week. And like Jeff said, hit the nail on the head, how much they blitz, the Cardinals blitz.
Yeah.
I think he'll actually be slightly more relaxed this week versus this ferocious pass rush that Washington has. I have zero confidence in Indiana. So, I was said earlier before you came on, I would like to see Danichi, but I don't think, like Marcus said, it probably won't happen this early. But I would like to see. Why not? Like, do we really think he's going to take us to Super Bowl right now with 14 players on IR?
Like Nick said, you're right.
And can we make it to the playoffs? Yes. Is it realistic with this many players? If we had Tyron Smith and Lau Collins out there and Zach Martin, and you told me those three were going to be on the O-line for the entire run, I would say we can make a push with Andy.
Yeah.
But with our starting 2 tackles out, I can't be that optimistic. I really can't. But I do think this game, he has a fairly productive game. He does what he needs to do to pull out the win. But it's really going to be on the shoulders of of Zeke in the run game.
Yeah. Now, for me, Andre spelled it out perfectly. Be a game manager, throw it to your first read.
Yeah.
The Redskins, again, their corners aren't world beaters. Fuller's playing pretty good this year, so I won't discount him. But Fabian Moreau, Jimmy Moreland, I don't even know who the fourth guy is. Can't think of his name. None of these guys scare me. I would hope that Coop or Gallup or Lamb, at least one of the three, can win their matchup consistently. And Andy just point that out. 1, 2, 3, get the ball out, like he's known for. A great point, Cole, about DiNucci and his legs. For sure, he's a good scrambler, and Andy Dalton can be sneaky with that as well. But I expect to see him be a game manager. I expect to see us finally take advantage of the run if Zeke can hold on to the ball, and I expect us to come out here, do what we're supposed to do, sustain some long drives because we're taking what they give us, and just consistently putting points on the board. That's a good point, Steve. I'll take our tight ends over their safeties too. I think our tight ends have to stand and block. That's my only concern.
Yeah. It'll be
What you got, Jeff?
It'll be interesting.
Worst case scenario.
Okay. Worse than what we have already? You got a worse case than this?
Worst case scenario is Irving is Chaz Green.
Worst case scenario, we come out and Zeke fumble anytime in the first half.
Okay.
What does that mean going forward?
Tony Pollard's the starter.
Do you totally? Yeah, I just said, do you totally pull Zeke? Make him sit a few games and give it to Pollard, or what?
Yeah, Pollard's the guy. To me, I mean, I don't care how much money you make. If you fumble the ball that much, you can't be trusted to carry this team.
If he fumbles, I want to see Pollard take 80% of the snaps the rest of the game.
I agree.
Bring him in when Pollard needs a breather. That's it for the rest of the game. If Zeke fumbles early in the game.
Zeke is our designated pass blocker. If that happens.
So you're saying Zeke will be Pollard's fullback? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying on third down you bring Zeke in the block.
Bring him in the block, yeah.
On first and second down, it's all Pollard. On third down, you bring in Zeke because you still got the threat of run or pass block. So you can't just treat him like you would treat any other running back because he's still Zeke. But
I hope he don't fumble. I want him to come out there and wear the defense down, be Zeke. Let's hope.
At that point, if he fumble, you treat him like any other running back.
Yeah.
You got to send a message.
Yeah.
You got to send a message.
Yeah, you can't say you're about winning and your running back fumble the ball.
I still would have cut Xavier Woods.
We passed that now, Jeff. Yeah. It's not happening.
I would be sending messages. Hey, I would have cut him. He would have been cut. Immediately. Effective immediately.
Yep. Yep, be Zeke. Chris Davis, we're coming up to 2 hours, so we're about to get out of here in a minute. Chris Davis says play Dalton under center, not in shotgun so much. Play action with the tight end through our receivers. Tired of Zeke having to run out of shotgun. I agree. I hate when Zeke has to run out of shotgun. Any running back. That's not their strength. I guess the only reason they don't do it is because they're afraid the middle's going to get blown up by Conor. I don't know.
It seemed like most of Pollard. Oh, sorry, I was looking at Taiwan's comment up. It seemed like a lot of Pollard's mistakes really there was in the kick return game.
That's a good point too, Taiwan. He has made some mistakes. He has a couple of fumbles too. Not as many as Zeke, but he does have 2, I believe.
Yeah, and he's had much less touches. So
yeah, but
that could equal up to what Zeke over the same amount of touches.
As many mistakes as Pollard has made this year, your starting running back can't have 8 fumbles in 7 games. That's not – you can't keep riding with it. I don't care who it is. Cole, thank you for joining us. We're actually about to get out of here as well, so we appreciate you sticking with us to the end. This is probably only the second show we've gone over 2 hours now, bro.
I know. I just got the message from the wife. She seen one of the emoji faces like,
oh, all right. Jeff, the wife is talking, so Jeff, we got to let you go.
Hey, thanks, Cole.
Hey, you know how it is, Jeff. We got.
Oh yeah, I know. My wife ain't here right now, so therefore I'm good.
We got to get out of here. So we appreciate you calling as usual, and we'll hear from you at the next bold predictions featuring Jeff. next
bold
week,
predictions featuring Jeff.
I'm gonna have with Jeff coming under the football at once bold predictions are said.
With Jeff.
You know I'm down for that. Let's record me doing the segment and let's put it on the show.
The Jeff,
I'm down.
Okay. Bold predictions with Jeff. We are keyed in.
There you go.
All right, thanks for joining us, Jeff.
Guys, I appreciate it.
All right,
see you, Jeff.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us again. We're over 2 hours. We'll be back again this Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. With our pregame show, where we'll continue with our bold predictions. We'll also give you injury reports, and we will give you some of our keys to victory, and as well as over under, which is another favorite of our viewers.
And I just want to go ahead. I want to say the reason we went over 2 hours without even realizing it, because we usually try to cut it much shorter than this, like an hour 15, hour 30 max. Is you guys have really been steady in the comments on all the platforms that we stream from, and the viewers I'm showing have been steady. You guys haven't dropped off, so thanks so much for staying tuned in this entire time and just making the show easy, you guys. Making it fun to interact. And thanks, Taiwan. I just got that Cash App donation. Thanks so much for that, man. We really do appreciate that. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't have said it any better. Thank you guys for all your support. And we look forward to seeing you guys again this Sunday as well.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm writing down Shane Odom's bold prediction, and then we'll get out of here. All right, so while we set this up, Limbo, hit them with their social media.
Guys, you can follow me at Cowboys Y'all on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Patreon. And on Instagram, you can follow me at Cowboys Y'all 88. So please subscribe on YouTube, hit the little bell, follow on those other pages, and feel free to message or say hey anytime.
All right, you can find me on Facebook at Bluff City Cowboys, Instagram at Bluff City Cowboys, Twitter at Bluff Cowboys, and now on YouTube at Bluff City Cowboys.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for your support. All right, so that is it for the Cowboy Zone. We appreciate you guys watching. Again, be sure to join us this Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, where we'll be giving you an hour of power, talking about the Cowboys versus the football team matchup. Lambo, any closing thoughts?
Hey, we seem to be growing week by week, y'all. Let's keep growing this thing. The viewers keep coming back, and we appreciate y'all. Keep sharing. Let's become the biggest show on the internet for the Cowboys, guys. Let's do this thing. Thank y'all so much.
All right, I'm Marcus. This is Lambo. We'll see you guys on Sunday.